My hair looks like a lion's mane. I haven't washed it in like 4 days. Okay, I straightened my bangs and put on a t-shirt because I was getting toasty. So I'm gonna put you on the tripod now. Okay, let's talk about INFPs. Also, it's been so long, friend. I'm sorry it's been so long. And 2 people have been asking me for like a year and a half to make a video. This is for you. If it gets 2 views, I'll be happy. If it gets more than 2 views, I will be unhappy. I'm actually drinking coffee today. I know, such a rebel. Okay, I don't really have any notes today. I decided to go off the cuff because I've been thinking about INFPs a lot lately. I have a cousin who's an INFP and we've always been super close. I have so much respect for her, and I found that our differences between INFJ and INFP were like mysteriously complementary. They're similar enough that they have a lot of common ground. Visionary, idealist, trying to live out my dreams, and yet they're different enough to learn from. I also recently met an INFP boy, and when I first met him, I was like, I'm pretty sure he's an INFP. And then I did like a little bit of research and I was like, he's definitely an INFP, which was super exciting for me because I know like next to no INFP boys, incredibly rare. They come out of the woodwork of fantasy land, you know what I'm saying? Probably like too excited to meet him because I was like, I get it now. I get it. I get what all the typography is saying. I see it. So let's decode some of this mystery behind INFPs. INFPs get pretty extreme views by Myers Briggs. Some of it might be true, but I don't think all of it is. I'm gonna attempt to decode that based on this boy and my cousin, male and female view of the INFP personality. First of all, I love you guys, INFPs. Where are you? There needs to be more of you guys in this world. Let me talk about the INFP female first. Okay, so the INFP female, from my experience, is that they have a very extensive variety of moods, but it's not moody in the traditional way that you think of moody, going off into a corner and pouting. It's like a genuinely diverse range of emotions, but they can also be incredibly like outgoing, zany sense of humor, super entertaining. They can cover the gamut of emotions. I honestly really have come to value that. Instead of judging INFPs for this emotional range, go with it, you know, go with the flow. And if you're seeing this range of emotions, it's probably because they're more comfortable with you than most. If an INFP doesn't know you at all and doesn't feel at all comfortable with you, they're probably going to act like a more one-dimensional person. If you're seeing all the sides, from crazy to fun to quiet to passionate, it probably means that they're closer to you than you think. Oh, one thing I wanted to mention was they definitely do hibernate. Like there's times where they'll just go ages without talking to people or texting people and you're like, did they die? Are they still alive? But they come out of it and then act like nothing happens, which is kind of funny. It's just something you have to know about them. All right, let's move on to INFP boys. So the INFP boy that I met recently, it's great. In some ways, he reminded me a little bit of an ENFP boy. Not that INFPs and ENFPs are similar, because outwardly they're gonna look tremendously different. ENFPs are kind of like stream of consciousness, never stop talking. Whereas INFPs, they might be thinking that and their thoughts are probably stream of consciousness, but how they express themselves is probably a little bit more normal than an ENFP. However, I do think they still have the same rich inner world. And you can see this in their expressions. This is one thing I really like about this INFP guy. You can tell from his face that he's processing things in like a different dimension, because we're really good at reading their faces and their expressions and body language, and yeah, it's very fun. I think another thing about INFP boys is they're probably going to be a little bit more reserved in how they share their emotions, because the horribly sad reality of our culture is that they put a lot of stipulations on men feeling their emotions, which I think is very, very, very wrong. And I've said this in multiple of my videos. Go watch my INFJ characters video. I talk about this a lot with Aragorn, but this reality especially hits home for the INFP boys, boys, because in a world where men should be logical and fierce and harsh, they're sensitive and kind and intelligent and have this softness to them that is actually really profound, but it's not valued like it should be in our culture or in our world. What the gifts that they can bring to this world is incredible as men, because there's not a lot of men like this. It's harder for them to express it in a way that's culturally acceptable, and I think that's really sad. I remember the first time that I talked to this guy, I could tell he had like so much going on beneath the surface. Their eyes are like very multifaceted. They're like a universe in a person. He's thinking so much more than he's saying, but you can see that. You can like visibly see it inside the person through their eyes, through their body language. Another thing with INFPs in general, not just boys, but INFPs, is I think that they're much more intelligent than they're given credit for. They're incredibly good at connecting details. And then just in general, INFPs are like effortlessly attractive. My cousin, she's beautiful, doesn't even have to try. So magnetic in her personality, she just naturally attracts people. Pretty sure this boy that I just met is the same way. He's not like outgoing in a traditional sense, but he's always surrounded by friends. Probably a common INFP trait is that they're gonna naturally just garner this crowd of friends because people are magnetized to them, all beautiful people. So part of me just wants to grab every INFP that I meet and be like, will you write a book? Will you let me read it? Let me in. It's the traditional iceberg thing, right? Like you see the top of the iceberg, you're like, this is a cool iceberg, but I know there's so much more to this iceberg. Is the INFP in a nutshell. These are just some thoughts and observations I've had with INFPs. I will say it has been more challenging for me to get to know this personality type, because being an introvert myself and them being definite introverts, it takes more time for those walls to come down. Be intriguing, ask questions. I feel like they love it when people ask questions of them, because they're usually the ones asking the questions, and it shows them that you care. Make them feel seen, make them feel heard. You're an INFJ, so you can do that. You probably are anyway if you're watching this. Listen to what they're not saying. INFPs say a lot without words. There we go. Try to understand them on a deeper level. They're probably willing to go there. They just need somebody to care enough and to show that they care enough and to ask the questions that they care enough in order to open up. I'm at that point in my coffee where it's like the grounds, a little bit of milk, and a little bit of water. I never know what to do with this part of the coffee. Like, do I just drink the grounds? Do I just not drink it? Do I stick it in the sink and wash it? I'm gonna drink it. Okay, it wasn't too bad, although I think some got a little bit stuck in my throat. Alright, friends, that's INFPs. I hope my head wasn't cut off for most of this video. If it was, you're getting it anyway. Sorry about that. I'm doing so much other video editing, I've completely neglected my YouTube channel. 2 people that have asked me for a video for a year and a half. I gotta give them something. I'm still alive. Thank you to people that cared about asking me for video content. I'm sorry it was this long in coming. I love you. Have a good day. Take care of yourself. Go love your INFP friends.